Hi everybody, thanks for joining us for this morning's Ag Report. Well, grasshoppers have added insult to injury for Montana's farmers and ranchers the past couple of years. As drought wreaked havoc on crop and forage production, many producers saw hoppers come through and clean up most of what was left. Our network's intern Grace McDonald spoke with Gary Adams, the State Plant Health Director for USDA APHIS, about the outlook for grasshoppers this year. Gary said that outlook is improving, but many areas in eastern and central Montana are still at risk for grasshopper outbreaks, so he encouraged producers to be on the lookout.
You want to be looking every week to make sure that subsequent hatches, you're not missing them. And they only look like a little tiny grain of rice when they first hatch, so you can easily miss them. And a lot of times they aren't very visible until they're adults and they're flying around. But it's that early season scouting that you really want to look for.
Well, a federal court has ordered the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to reevaluate its management of grizzly bears in the Bitterroot ecosystem on the Montana-Idaho border. That was after environmental groups challenged the agency in court for not keeping with the timeline to reintroduce grizzlies in the area. The Fish and Wildlife says that circumstances have changed since the plan was introduced 20 years ago. Grizzlies from other ecosystems are expanding their range and regularly traveling through the Bitterroot. The plan to reintroduce grizzlies to the area is expected to take 4 years to complete. Well, thanks for being with us this morning. We'll see you back here in an hour to look at our markets.
We asked Montana farmer Walt Sales about the challenges of mental health in agriculture.
Another drought, there always is. There's always going to be another something. I grew up in a generation of you pulled yourself up by your bootstraps, but it's become evident is what do you do if you can't even find those bootstraps? If you need to talk to somebody, go to beyondtheweather.com for free counseling for Montana ag producers.
Hi everyone, thanks for swinging back for our ag markets. Well, the U.S. beef cow herd has been shrinking for 4 years now, but with fed cattle prices breaking records this month and many more price records expected to be shattered over the next few years, will the industry finally transition to an expansion phase in 2023? I don't think so. There's a few factors to watch here. Pastures are still healing from drought and producer finances squeezed by record high feed costs. The Climate Prediction Center says pasture conditions will improve in eastern Montana, but drought persisting in the southern plains is likely to keep the national cow herd shrinking this year. Well, cattle futures did regain their footing on Wednesday after moving lower following the Cattle on Feed report. The cash trade will determine the direction for the rest of the week. Last week we were down $1 to $3 on the cash. The feeder market staying strong in Miles City. 6-weight steers selling from $230 to $252, 5-weight heifers from $250 to $274, and $38,000 raised in the Montana Stock Growers rollover auction, taking the total so far above $110,000. Cash hogs are down 35% from a year ago, causing losses over $30 per head for pork producers. And the wheat market seems to be breaking away from the fundamentals. The worst winter wheat crop condition ratings in 30+ years and delayed spring wheat planting, as well as uncertainty about grain flowing out of the Black Sea, has been ignored as a lot of these wheat prices are at or near contract lows. Thanks for joining us this morning. Have a good one.